I barricaded myself in the makeshift workroom for 2 days. I allowed only Shen Li to deliver simple meals and water. My father thought I was sulking. Shen Li thought I was plotting. In reality, I was wrestling with 4 bolts of fabric and a set of rudimentary tools. My first task was to create a garment that was both a statement and a sales pitch. It needed to demonstrate that the value was in the craft, not the cost of the material. I chose the deep navy wool. In this era, wool was associated with sturdy travel gear or servant livery, but the quality of this bolt was exceptional. I began by sketching. This world's robes, while beautiful, were designed for a static, pose-heavy life. Straight lines, heavy sleeves, and zero regard for comfort. I knew that for a successful businessman or a martial artist, movement was key. I mentally stripped away all the layers and started with the human form. I measured Shen Li meticulously, ignoring her nervous fidgeting. "Stand still," I commanded gently. "Don't worry, this is an art form. You are my muse." I drafted the pattern directly on paper, using geometric precision to create darts, triangular folds that take up fabric fullness and shape the garment around curves, a technique largely unknown in this period's loose-fitting style. Then came the sleeves. Instead of the wide draping sleeves that impeded work, I drafted a set-in sleeve that allowed for a greater range of motion at the shoulder. It was an exercise in pure minimalist elegance. I designed a long, structured coat, part overcoat, part hanfu, that hugged the shoulders and flowed down to the ankle, giving the wearer height and presence. The actual cutting was nerve-wracking. I only had enough fabric for one flawless piece. I chalked the pattern on the navy wool, laid the fabric out flat, and cut. The scissors in this world were heavy and clumsy, and my soft hands quickly developed blisters, but I gritted my teeth and finished the job. The sewing took another 8 hours. I used tiny, perfect stitches, reinforced the seams, and pressed the heavy wool flat with a weighted stone heated by the brazier. I was exhausted, my back aching, but the result was a masterpiece. Dinner in the Shen family household was a tense affair. My father, Shen Han, was already seated, picking listlessly at his rice. Shen Li was perched nervously on the edge of her cushion. I walked in and placed the folded navy coat on the empty seat beside me. "What is that?" Father asked, frowning. "A blanket?" "It is a coat, Father," I replied calmly. "A prototype." "It's gray," he muttered with distaste, a sentiment the original Shen Yu would have heartily agreed with. "Gray is the color of dirt. It is what we sell to the servants. It is the color of prestige when cut correctly." I pushed the coat toward Shen Li. "Put it on." She looked terrified, but sensing the tension, she stood and hesitantly slipped the heavy wool over her thin dress. The effect was instantaneous and shocking. The coat's structure squared her shoulders, making her look taller and incredibly composed. The precision of the darts gave her a slender waist and an air of severe elegance. She wasn't dressed, she was enveloped in competence. The deep navy wool, devoid of any distracting embroidery, made her flawless skin and dark eyes pop with contrast. Shen Han put down his chopsticks. His jaw hung slack. That can't be," he stammered. "That is the same wool we sell for 4 copper coins per bolt. It looks expensive." "It is expensive, Father," I said, picking up my chopsticks. "It is the most expensive thing in this room because it required the most skill to create." I addressed my sister, who was still staring wide-eyed at her reflection in the polished wood of the door. "Move your arms. Raise them above your head." Shen Li complied. The set-in sleeve moved smoothly, not pulling on the body of the coat. "Comfort," I explained to my father. Look how freely she moves. Your old robes restricted movement. My designs enable it. They are tailored not just for the eye, but for the function of the wearer." Shen Li turned, a faint blush on her cheeks. "Brother," she whispered, touching the cuff, "it feels so light, yet so warm. I look like a noblewoman." "You look like a future business manager," I corrected, smiling genuinely at her for the first time. "This is what we will sell. We are no longer selling silk. We are selling the Shen Cut. We sell perfection, we sell movement, and we sell the look of effortless wealth." My father finally broke his silence. He reached out and timidly stroked her wool. He examined a seam, checking the stitching. His merchant's eye for quality seemed to override his historical prejudice against plain color. "The craftsmanship! I have never seen such tight, straight stitching," he murmured, looking at me with a bewildered expression. "How did you learn this? Where did the spoiled peacock learn to wield a needle like a master tailor?"
"I am a fast study," I said simply. "But the question is, Father, do you want to keep selling tacky ducks, or do you want to save the Shen family name with this?" I tapped the coat. He looked from the coat to his shocked daughter, and then back to me, the new son. Slowly, a decision formed behind his weary eyes. "We have 2 shop fronts," he said, pushing aside his bowl. "The main one is still selling the old stock to keep the revenue trickling. Take the smaller west shop. Take your fabrics, take Shen Li, and prove it. If this Shen Cut can sell, then I will give you my blessing. But if you fail, you will stop this madness and return to your books." It was a test, but it was also the key to my survival. "I will not fail, Father," I said, a wave of pride washing over me, the kind of professional satisfaction no amount of gold could buy. The West Shop is now open for business.